salutations to you all. Today is the 60th anniversary for the Glamor Trams. And speaking of Glamor Trams, there's the original Glamor Trams right there. Oh yeah. You can tell the way the design is, the way it should have been painted, but now it's this original killer. Well, blue that is. But now we get this that took over the main pickup. Kind of got the same look too, though. Literally, that's really cool. Hey. Hey. What's up? Let's see what else they're doing with the coaster now. Probably not that much yet. This is Welcome Freedom Fighters. Wonder what they're doing over there. Huh. Put in the comments down below what you think what they're doing over there. Looks like more construction for a parking lot. The original Terminator building. Yes, Skynet. Hey, what's up guys? Check out this crazy couple just got the 60th anniversary, and it's got the studio tour on it. Look at that. Look at that, the old school Glamor Trams, y'all. That is so cool. For real. That's all it says? Yeah. Wow. So anyways, yeah, happy anniversary. Alright. So we got our original cups right here. Pretty cool. Versus the newer ones. So yeah, it's like what? $17-ish? Right? Yeah. Yes, with their gold pass it was like 17. So that's not bad if you think about it. Overall, yeah, it's definitely cool. So you get a refill if you want to get a whole day. You get a refill, you don't have to wait 10 minutes anymore. So if you want to go back again next day, you still have to repay for it again. But it's worth it. So you get a refill. Yeah. We dig it, we love it. And that's the original colors for the original Glamor Trams too as well. So you can't beat that. I remember back in those days, for real. Because, you know, the Glamor Trams were still being known. Besides these ones right here, those particular trams. So anyways guys, our event doesn't start until 6 o'clock at night. We have to exit the park and go back in again, just because we gotta. And yeah, we're here at Universal right now, y'all. Cool. Hello, what is up? My hat is tripping all over the place for some weird reason. It was in the car and it got flopped, literally, and it got squished. So we're about to go on to the tram.
I just seen it.
What?
I just noticed it.
I know, my head's like tripping out. Literally. Yeah, it'll fix itself in the long run, it always does. It's not meant to be like that, but I don't know, it's just weird. So anyways, happy 60th anniversary, y'all. It's crazy, you know. I'm still getting used to my gimbal. I got you all on the gimbal at the moment. So let me know if you like the gimbal. I like the gimbal a lot. I'm still getting used to this crazy setup here. So hey, we already got some track, literally, into the Fast and the Furious roller coaster, like half a track. Oh my gosh, check it out. Happy anniversary! Happy anniversary! Hey, you too. See track. I see track, y'all. Right on top. It's crazy. Who knew? Here we are. Look at that. Tracks. We got tracks. It's up there. I saw it. What's gonna happen to the Simpsons ride, y'all? Let's hope it's gonna be Back to the Future. The ride. That'd be awesome. And then this will be like some sort of you know, other food store. We'll see. So it's spring break, as you can tell. Spring break. That's crazy. To the right. So we're gonna get first glimpse on the studio tour. See how it is, and then later tonight, I'll do the whole filming after that as well. So we're just gonna get like a quick glimpse on everything. There it is. That's crazy. A ride that nobody can never film on. It's kind of weird, but it is what it is. All right, later.
Crazy. Can we show them the top bag? Show them the top bag and speaking. Wow. Ooh. Cute. Can you show them how wide that tote bag is?
Wow, they even have a speaker.
Ooh, wow.
Interesting.
These tote bags are
15-minute wait for the Glamor Trams. That's awesome. Let's go. I think I'm gonna do it early too, as well. We'll see. So here we go. We're going. You excited? Super excited, y'all. Let's do this. Wow, look at that posters. Classic. Classic, y'all. Classic. That is so epic. Look at the posters, babe. That is so awesome. Wow. They're everywhere. Let's just take in this moment and appreciate this. Look at that! Oh, they're not doing construction anymore? Okay. Alright. I guess the elevators are back up again. Yeah, I did. Guys, look at this. Whoa. Oh, that is so neat. It's like the old days. The glory days. Alright. Comcast the boys. There's a fun fact right there. Yep. Guys, look at this. It's the original map. That's insane. There's more of this around the corner. Oh, the original earthquake. Whoa. 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 Wow, that is awesome. What else we got over here? Yeah, there's the original layout. There we go. In all its glory. Guys, look at the Glamor Trams. Dude, this is so crazy. It's happening. Oh, it's happening. It's so beautiful.
All right, everyone, we have a tram pulling up, and you'll be hopping on one of our new Glamor trams. And go ahead, applause for the tram. Huh?
Woo!
This tram is painted it up to look like the old Glamor Trams from when the studio tour first opened, way back in 1964. So we are celebrating our 60th anniversary.
It's so glorious.
Don't hop aboard just yet. All right, welcome aboard.
I'm your studio tour guide, but we could not do this without our incredible driver, Richard. Everyone give it up for Richard. And now I have one more co-host to introduce you to this afternoon. You may recognize him as the host of The Tonight Show, and That's My Jam on NBC. It's Mr. Jimmy Fallon. Take it away, Jimmy.
Oh, still Jimmy? Okay.
Welcome to the Universal Studio Tour. I'm Jimmy Fallon. I'll be making sure that you get through this experience in one piece. You got the very best guide.
Cassie.
And the greatest driver.
Richard.
They're the best. I love them. Even though
Cassie.
owes me $5.
Wait, what?
I know you guys are excited to get on the tour, but first, a few safety rules.
That's right, Jimmy. We do have a few safety rules to cover. First, if you need guest assistance or have a medical emergency, or if you drop something of value off the side of the tram or have any sound or video issues, reach up and grab the red emergency cord that runs along the center of the ceiling of the tram, and I'll be back to assist you as soon as it is safe to do so. Otherwise, during the entire tour, please stay seated. Keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times. Remember to use the red cord above your head if you need any assistance. The studio is private property, and if any time during the tour you drop your phone or just can't wait to use the restroom, pull the cord and remain seated. Please no smoking of any kind during the tour. Be prepared, our tour today features loud noises, sudden tram movements, fire effects, and many water effects. You'll want to have your cameras out for some great photo opportunities, but keep an eye on them so they don't get wet. Finally, for your safety and for those around you, please do not use selfie sticks while you are on board the tour. Alrighty folks, we are officially leaving our theme park behind and are making our way down our Universal timeline into our working movie studio. Over there on your right hand side, we're passing by some movie posters. These are just a couple examples of our over 8,000 films and our over 100 years of movie making. The Universal Film Manufacturing Company was originally founded all the way back in 1912 by our founder, Carl Laemmle. You can see him on your screens. But we opened up Universal Studios Hollywood on March 15, 1915. That means this past March we celebrated our 109th birthday here in Hollywood. Now we are a Universal City. We are called that because we're a real city. Take a look on your right hand side. This is Fire Station 51. That is our real working fire station that serves Universal City. Not a movie set, not movie stars, although they do look like them. Now we also have our own sheriff's department, our own medical services, our own department of transportation, a laundromat, and yes, we do indeed have Starbucks. In fact, we have 3 of them, and a coffee bean. So we are a real city. The big difference between our city and your city where you live is that no one lives here. We are completely dedicated to filmmaking. In fact, we're about to enter our front lot. That's the portion of our over 400-acre movie studio lot where we have our sound stages. Take a look over here on your left-hand side. This is Soundstage 12, our largest and most historic. It says The Voice on the front side because The Voice used to be filmed inside that stage. But not just The Voice. Also Frankenstein's Lab, Dracula's Castle, Scarface's Mansion, the Back to the Future clock there at the Jurassic Park Visitor Center, even portions of Whoville. And check this out, we even built a whole pool in there for the scene for couples to drink. That's what a soundstage looks like when it is empty inside. Take a look over here on your left-hand side. These are sound stages 11, 10, and 9. Were recently used for filming a Grand Crew on NBC starring Nicole Meyer. These next 2, they have their doors open, so go ahead and take a look inside those sound stages. These 2 are currently being used for filming on Bel Air. That is the dramatic reboot of The Fresh Prince of Bel Air. It stars Jabari Banks and Molly Sholton. You can check it out. It is streaming on the Universal streaming platform Peacock. Keep keeping an eye on your left-hand side. When we round this corner here, over on your left, we are passing by Soundstage 14. This is another one of our largest. And this is where the Banks Mansion set is constructed for filming on Bel Air. It is also where they built the set of Mission Control for the film Apollo 13 with Tom Hanks. They also built the top of Mount Crumpet in The Grinch's Lair for Jim Carrey's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. As well as where they filmed a couple scenes from Jurassic Park If you remember the scene where the two kids are up in the tree and a big Brachiosaurus comes over and sneezes all over them, it was filmed right there on your left in stage 14. That parking structure right next door was also used in the Lost World Jurassic Park, the second film, but we'll touch on that later. Also inside Soundstage 14 is where they built the set of the Superstore for the NBC comedy Superstore.
Yeah, you know, the heat makes us all
So right there on your screens, it looks like they're standing inside your average everyday superstore, something like a Target or a Walmart. But they're not. They're on a set that was constructed inside stage 14. So why would they do this? Why would they go to the trouble of recreating a superstore inside that soundstage when they could have just rented out a Walmart? Well, the reason is filmmakers are control freaks. And that's what sound stages provide us, is control. We can control everything from the sound, hence the name, to the lighting, the foot traffic, even the temperature. Portions of John Carpenter's The Thing were also filmed inside stage 14, and they refrigerated the inside of the stage. They turned the AC way up, so where you could see the actor's breath on camera. In fact, some of the actors said that it was colder inside that stage than when they were filming in the snow in Alaska. Now over here on your right-hand side, we're passing by some more of our TV sound stages have been used for Based on a True Story, starring Kaylee Cuoco, Killing It with Craig Robinson, Good Girls, as well as The Good Place, starring Kristen Bell and Ted Danson. It's now being used by a classic Spy, which is also starring Ted Danson. And take a look over here on your left. It's not Ted Danson, but it is Ted Drinkin'. This is Ted the Bear from the Ted films, as well as the new Ted TV series, produced and directed, and of course starring Steph MacFarlane as Ted the Bear. Take a look.
Hi everyone, Seth MacFarlane here, and I'm excited to share with you a behind-the-scenes look at my Peacock original event series, Ted. It's a prequel series set in 1993. And that means our skilled craftspeople had to build a high school, a house, and even recreate downtown Boston as it looked back in the day, using exterior sets and facades you're about to see on the tour. But I should warn you, Ted is intended for mature audiences only. So grown-ups, tell the kids to go in the other room before you watch. Oh, come on!
Now also over here on your left-hand side, we're passing by these small beige buildings. These are our production bungalows, where much of the pre-production process happens. Anything from scheduling, casting, budgeting, or writing your scripts. On the left, the MP sign, that is Mark Platt Productions. They brought you the Broadway musical Wicked, and are bringing you part 1 of the movie musical Wicked with Cynthia Erivo, Ariana Grande, Michelle Yeoh, and Jeff Goldblum. Also on the left, number 5195, that was the bungalow used by Alfred Hitchcock when he was making his Alfred Hitchcock Presents, and worked on films like Vertigo, Psycho, The Birds, and my favorite, Rear Window. It's now being used by the De Laurentiis company. They brought you Hannibal to the big screen and the
We got a bicycler on the left side.
Also on the left, we have 2 more sound stages behind these office buildings. Stage 25 is currently home to Lopez versus Lopez. And stage 26 is being used by a new comedy series called Saint
There we are on the
Dennis Medical.
window. Hey.
Now they have been filming in there
On the Glamor
earlier
Trams.
today. They're not filming currently. If you take a look on your left, right under that Gilded Age poster, there's a little red light there. That is called a wigwag.
Oh, no.
If that is lit up and flashing, that signals to us that they are in there filming at that very moment. And that means that we have to be careful about the sound. But it's not flashing, so I can keep talking to you. Now also on your left, we have officially left behind the front and entered the backlot.
Whoa.
The backlot is where we have these large-scale exterior sets like these ones here. These are metropolitan sets made to look like any major metropolitan city or a small town. They're quite extensive. They cover about 4 acres of land here on our lot, and they have various sections to them, mimicking different areas you would find in any major metropolis. We have a financial district, a theater district, a small town square, a residential street of a big city. We even have a replica of the Macy's building that you would find in New York City. Now, as we round the corner, we're going to pass into a section of our metro sets called London Square. This is called London Square because it's built with a more European design in mind, so that it could be used as any major European metropolis. Our London Square here has been used as London in Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Marvel's Agent Carter, as well as the Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw, as well as Austin Powers, the Spy Who Shagged Me.
Oh, wow.
Also, take a look on your right down these streets we're passing by. You'll get a glimpse further into our Metropolitan sets. Our Metro sets are the most popular
there's a
sets
time
we have
machine.
here on our lawn. They are frequently
true.
used, especially right now by St.
saw
Dennis
it's Lauren
Medical,
over
the
there.
classic Spy. This particular street on your right, this is our
man.
Brownstone Street, named after that row of brownstone apartments. You may remember those from
Hopefully,
Home Alone
that'd
2,
be cool.
Lost in New York, where Kevin McAllister
Yeah.
threw bricks down at the Wet Bandits, or
I'm
where
saying
Mindy
for.
Lahiri lived in the Mindy Project, and where Bruce lived in Bruce Almighty. In fact, take a look. You can see how it looked in the film.
It's the old King Kong area, yo. Wait, what are you checking out? There we go. Sorry, I'm still getting used to this gimbal. Why are you turning that way?
And as we proceed forward, keep an eye on your right. We're going to pass by the main street in our Metro sets called New York Street. The longest continuous street we have here on the lot.
There we go.
And that street has been seen in Transformers with Shia LaBeouf, Captain America with Chris Evans, The Amazing Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield, Spider-Man 2 with Tobey Maguire, and many more.
See, we used to go over that bridge
Oh, yeah.
before they put the train up.
Creatures from prehistoric times. So I was thrilled when Universal invited me back to Skull Island. And it's great to have you along for the ride. Now we have created this 3D immersive experience, so you're going to have to
Look at that
have your
Glamour
glasses.
Trams, y'all.
Don't put them on yet.
That is amazing.
Just have them in your hand.
The Glamour Trams, that's the way it does.
That is right, folks. We're about to return to Skull Island. Now, this is bumpy territory, so please remember to remain seated at all times and hold on to your loved ones. By your loved ones, I do mean your cell phones. Hold on extra tight to all of your belongings. If anything is dropped off of the vehicle inside of Skull Island,
We gotta hold on
it
to
cannot
our
be
loved ones,
retrieved
honey.
until the end of the day.
This is gonna be crazy.
All right, folks, this is it. We're making our way back into Skull Island. Go ahead and put on your 3D glasses.
Wow. Ah, giant spider! Woohoo! Wow.
Congratulations, everyone. You've survived your expedition to
The
Skull
60th anniversary
Island
spider.
and your encounter with King Kong himself inside King Kong 360 3D.
There we go. I'm still getting used to this.
Now that is the world's second largest 3D experience, with
tripping out a
screens
minute
standing
ago.
up to 40 feet in height and 180 feet in length. And it was brought to you by the incredible
Or
duo
gimbal.
of director Peter
was
Jackson
talking
and the
to
team
you.
at Weta Effects, formerly known as Weta
No,
Digital.
I need it.
They're a New Zealand-based digital effects company, and they are masters of CGI, computer-generated imagery. In fact, they won their 8th Academy Award just
Still
this
tripping
year
out.
at the last Academy Awards.
Why are you going that way? Come on.
I thought you had a studio tour, but the audience is in the middle of you're looking in all directions, there's creatures coming out, and you're seeing Kong from this side, and the T-Rex is from the other side. We always look at people in the middle of the screen, and they're looking for shot. I'm hearing you have to take into account that people are looking in all directions. Also, one of the things about this live is working on it, there's no cuts. Because one giant shot, this tram is driving along through Skull Island, this is where it clears from. This ring represents where the screen is 10 meters away. We leave creation about 50 minutes out. That amount of visual information, that number of pixels is individual.
Now you may have noticed in the midst of that battle, one of our tram cars got pulled into the action by one of those dinosaurs. Now the moment our tram was visible up on the big screen, it became known as a picture
That's
car.
awesome.
And a picture car is what we refer to any mode of transportation that you're going to see up on the big screen in film and television. It could be any kind of vehicle, a boat, a plane, a train, a bus, a bicycle, they all count, and we refer to them as picture cars. Now, picture cars can be very useful to our productions. They can help tell you the setting or location or time period based on the vehicles that you're seeing, and they can be used by our characters. Like in the Fast and Furious franchise, our characters are known by their cars. And coming up here on your left-hand side, get your cameras ready. We've got some examples of our famous picture cars. One of my favorites is the Ferrari 308 from Magnum PI. That's called a faux Rari because under the hood is a Volkswagen engine. They did that because they wanted to put the wear and tear of production on the less expensive Volkswagen than the very expensive Ferrari. All the way back to the Stone Age with the Flintstones, completely powered by human feet. They won't run unless you do. The Ford Anglia from Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. That's one of 17 and a half Ford Anglias used in the filming. The half was so we could get the camera in there next to Harry and Ron in the front seats. The Fry's Electronics van and the Crawdaddy boat from Nope and Us, both by director Jordan Peele. And the Bradley Infantry Fighting Vehicle, this tank here from Transformers. You'll notice the barrel of the gun on that tank is bent. Now, that would be very impressive to bend solid steel like that. If only it were made of solid steel. That tank is made of mostly just plywood and PVC piping. Now the reasons that we would build a tank out of those cheaper and lightweight materials is because Transformers is a Michael Bay film. And if you are very familiar with Michael Bay, you will know that he has a trademark, and that is blowing
That
things
doesn't
up.
exist no more.
So it becomes a lot cheaper and a lot safer to blow up a wooden tank than one made of actual steel. But we might need a real steel tank for where we're headed. We're headed
And we're gonna use
to
this.
Jurassic Park.
60 and 69 or 59.
To Jurassic Park.
Dino pad. Wait, there's gonna be a dino pad in
That's
there?
right,
What?
folks. Down this stretch, we are passing by
No.
set pieces from the original trilogy Jurassic Park films. Over on your left-hand side, we have Blue's Cage from Jurassic World, as well as the mobile lab unit from the second film, The Lost World Jurassic
Whoa.
Park.
No
like
way.
the tank we passed, this is made of
What?
mostly just plywood. If you take a close look around the windows, you can see the grain in
Dude.
the wood. And we are, of course, so proud to have some of the
Wow.
actual dinosaurs from Jurassic
tree?
Park here in our park as well.
Oh my
Take a
God.
look around us. You'll spot the little dinosaurs here. Oh, they're coming out to say hello. Now, not to worry, folks. That is a customary greeting with Dilophosaurus dinosaurs. That just means that they're welcoming you. And if you take a look on your screens, this is the scene from the Lost World Jurassic Park. That mobile lab unit. And as you can see
I got
here,
spitted.
it is being pushed over
got
the
me.
edge of a steep cliff out in the middle of the rainforest. In actuality, that's a parking garage. If you remember the parking garage by Soundstage 14, that is the cliff you are seeing here. We dressed it up to look like a rock face. Now, other than some clever disguises, in this scene and the entire Jurassic Park trilogy, we make extensive use of weather effects. Weather can be an incredibly useful tool for film and TV. It helps establish the mood and tone of your scene. But how do we get the weather to act on cue, just like our actors? Well, the truth is, we don't. We just fake it, and we make it ourselves. Now you'll hear our thunder sound effects coming from our speakers, and we have lightning effects from strobe lights. Normally those brought in the editing process, but we're bringing it to you now so you get the full picture. And we've got the rain. The rain is brought to you through a highly technical, state-of-the-art system. It's called a sprinkler. Now it shoots the water up into the air and allows it to fall naturally back down to the ground through gravity, just like real rain, just how we do it in the movies. But the best part about making the weather ourselves is that we have the scene control. We can make any kind of weather we want. Maybe a torrential downpour, like we're seeing now, or maybe just a light drizzle. Actually, you know what? We've had a lot of rain here recently. It's probably not a good idea to let this build up. Let's cut the rain.
Whoa, flash flood.
Look out, guys. We've got a flood.
60th anniversary flood. Whoa.
Now that is our flash flood. That is the oldest animated attraction we have here on our studio tour. Opened up in 1968. And you can see it in action in the film Big Fat Liar. Take a look.
Yani herhangi bir filmde bak burada mesela. Bak ekrana bak. Bak o yok.
Now those floodwaters have carried us all the way into our old Western sets here. These are called 6 Points. They are the oldest sets we have here on our lot. When we first started inviting audiences in to come see films being made in person all the way back in 1915, these are the sets they first entered. Now we call these sets 6 Points because back in those early days, we were making Westerns all the time. They were our bread and butter. We had 6 full Western streets that all met in the middle at 6 points, like the spokes of a wagon wheel. Each street was its own Western town. Each one had its own sheriff station and saloon and bank. So we could film a whole Western on each street, and we would film 6 at a time. But this street here you might recognize from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, starring Academy Award winners Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio. About 40 minutes of that film was all set right here on this Western street. As well as Call of the Wild with Harrison Ford. This was an old Alaskan mining town.
Huh.
As well as Saving Mr. Banks, the Disney film about the creation of Mary Poppins. This was old Australia. And as we mosey on out of the Old West, keep an eye on your left-hand side. We're going to be passing by sound stages 30 through 33. Stages 30 and 31 are the most recent home to The Voice. That is where they are filming inside of those 2 stages. Now, we have also reached the halfway mark of our tour, so I'd like to remind everyone to stay seated during the entire tour. The studio is private property, and if you drop your phone or just can't wait to use the restroom, pull the red cord above your heads to get my attention, and I'll be back to assist you. And please remember, remain seated while on the tram. Now back over there on your left-hand side, in front of those sound stages, is a small pond. This is called the Hollywood Ocean. Now the reason we call this itty-bitty pond an ocean is because it's often used as the ocean. In fact, we used it for McHale's Navy. We turned that into the ocean by bringing the camera right down to the level of the water so you couldn't see the edges of the pond and it looked endless like an ocean. And then we would put miniature boats immediately in front of the camera, so to the camera's perspective, it would look massive. It would look life-size. But now we're leaving the ocean behind and entering Europe. This is Little Europe. These are the second oldest sets we have here on our lot, and we call them Little Europe because they're built in this sort of broadly European design. But they don't have to be used as Europe. They can be used as anywhere in this world or anywhere outside this world, like the afterlife. Welcome to the good place. Right up ahead is the yogurt shop from the Good Place. Yogurt, yogurt, yogurt. You'll see it pass by on your left. But this was also used as Port Royal in Tortuga in the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, as well as the fictional Kingdom of Genovia, the Princess Diaries 2, A Royal Engagement, as well as Cairo, Wales, and Transylvania, and many of our original monster movies. Right over here on your right-hand side, this square is called the Court of Miracles, named after the Lon Chaney film The Miracle Man. And that was a major filming location for many of our original monster movies. Universal Studios Hollywood is the home of the monster movie. We originated them with films like Frankenstein with Boris Karloff, Dracula with Bela Lugosi, The Wolfman, The Bride of Frankenstein, The Invisible Man, The Hunchback of Notre Dame. So many. In fact, take a look on your screens here to see more of what I'm talking about.
So Universal was thinking monsters. Dracula, Frankenstein, Wolfman, Bride of Frankenstein, The Mummy, Hunchback of Notre Dame, The Invisible Man.
Oh, we're not gonna go through Earthquake?
That Frankenstein image. What? It's one of the great icons of the world.
That's probably the tram right there for tonight.
I was just mesmerized by it. Boris Karloff, Lon Chaney, the original Universal Studios Mummy.
Probably still revamping it.
It's still ringing in our memories now.
But I've seen pictures. I got questions. Oh wow, they really cleared out the old Western area. Really? Oh, what a waste. The back side of the earthquake building. That's crazy. It's like we're not ready yet.
So yeah, we are the
Here's
start
some of the
horror
buildings.
genre as a whole. Before we released our monster movies, movies made to scare you weren't really a thing. But ever since then, we've had a long line of such movies, including 1975's Jaws. We're going to take a visit to the sets of Amity Island here from Jaws. Now, I know they've had a bit of a reputation for shark attacks, but don't worry, we caught that great white. Take a look over there on your right-hand side, you can see him. But, you know, just in case, please remember, remain seated, keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle.
60th anniversary.
Now, we've even gone ahead and we've sent a police diver out there into the lagoon, just making sure that it is perfectly safe for us to come visit.
George.
But boy, the music they've chosen to play, that's ominous. That's interesting. Oh, but there's our diver out there in the water. Oh boy, it looks like something's going on. Okay. Oh, well, it looks like we might have another shark. But don't worry, we've planned for this. We're going to pull the safety here behind the pier where we've set up these large flammable barrels of gasoline as a deterrent.
Oh no.
I am sure we'll be perfectly fine from here on out.
That's not good.
Oh, well, that's not good. There's spilling gas everywhere. Oh no, there's a spark. Okay, well, I was wrong, but you know what? I'm never wrong twice. From here on out, perfectly fine. Oh, I was wrong twice. Please allow me to introduce you to Bruce, the mechanical shark, named and modeled after Bruce, the mechanical shark, used in the filming of Steven Spielberg's Jaws. Now, the name Bruce originally came from Steven Spielberg's lawyer, Bruce Kramer, who was a real-life shark in the courtroom. And since then, a lot of sharks in film and television have been named Bruce as a homage to Jaws. If you've seen Finding Nemo, the shark is named Bruce after Jaws. Now, we love Jaws and we love our mechanical shark, but when they were filming Jaws, their mechanical shark hardly ever worked. In fact, on their first day of filming, it sank to the bottom of the ocean. They had so many problems with it, they nicknamed the film Flaws.
That's a much maligned shark. The shark was frustrating. It didn't really work all the time. It didn't work hardly at all.
Wherever you were on the island, you would hear the radio news. They were always saying, the shark is not working. The shark is not working.
We just
Look at that view.
We just waited. The shark worked.
Left, you're gonna see that yellow house with a green roof there. That is Boo Radley's house. And To Kill a Mockingbird, starring Gregory Peck. That's what we call our Elm Street, one of the residential sets we have here. It was also used in Will Smith's Hancock and the live-action Garfield movie with Bill Murray. Gregory Peck. That's what we call our Elm Street, one of the residential sets we have here. It was also used in Will Smith's Hancock and the live-action Garfield movie with Bill Murray.
Oh, yeah.
Over here on your right-hand side, this White House here on the hill, this is Miss Mona's Chicken Ranch from the Best Little Warehouse in Texas, starring Dolly Parton and Burt Reynolds. This was originally constructed inside of Soundstage 12, that first stage we passed by. In fact, it was built on hinges so it could open like a doll's house. On your left, we're passing by the end of our Colonial Street. That greenhouse there, that is the Matlock house. That was Matlock's. They are bringing back Matlock. If you're interested, there will be a new version of it.
Really?
Also on your left-hand side, the Lion Estate sign from Back to the Future. That was the home of Marty McFly.
What? Whoa. They moved them over
Now,
here.
the Lion Estate sign welcomes us into what's called Wilderness Road. We call this area Wilderness Road because if you look on your right, you've got trees. If you look on your left,
there we go.
You've got more trees. This is an
Great
area
Scott.
of undeveloped land here in our lot. Now, this is actually very unique to Universal Studios Hollywood.
There we
We're
go.
the only production studio with this area of undeveloped land here on our lot. And this is very useful for filmmakers because if they have a scene that's supposed to take place in the middle of nowhere, they don't actually have to go to the middle of nowhere. They can just pull up right along our Wilderness Road here, aim the cameras into the trees, and it looks like they're in the middle of nowhere. But it allows them to still have access to things like electricity without miles and miles of extension cords and restrooms. Now, we have reached the 15-minute mark of our tour. That means we're approximately 15 minutes from the end of the tour, and we'll be returning to the theme park shortly. Remember to pull the red emergency cord above your heads if you need my assistance, and please remember to remain seated at all times.
Wow.
Now, keep an eye on your left-hand
I remember.
side, but we're leaving one alien encounter right into another. Welcome to the sets of Jupiter's Claim from Jordan Peele's latest film, Nope.
Movie magic only happens when a team of collaborators, often in the hundreds, work together to take an impossible mission and bring it to life. This is Jupiter's Claim, a nostalgic, small-time Southern California amusement park owned by former child star Ricky Jupe Park. Over there, look into the winking well and have your picture taken just like the kids in that old 90s movie Kid Show. That's what this whole place is loosely based on. Remember that one? No? Well, I don't. A little further down, you can see the brand new Star Lasso experience. Built to showcase
You know, they're cool. Just that they put the boat or the ship that flies around. That'll be cool.
Anyway, behind this Hollywood fantasy of a gold rush frontier town lies a sinister secret. Welcome to the world of no.
Now, if you have seen Nope, you may recognize the sound effects we're playing for you here as the ones from the film. When
Wow.
the extraterrestrial will pass overhead. If you haven't seen Nope, this experience does not give much away. That is intentional. This experience is left intentionally vague because these sets opened up on our studio tour on the exact same day that the film first released in theaters. That is the first time in our studio tour history that has happened. And we wanted to make it so that guests could come and take our tour, see Jupiter's Claim, but then still go see the movie in theaters and be left surprised by what they saw. If you still have not seen Nope, I highly recommend checking it out. It answers a couple questions about what you just experienced. You into the universe of the Fast and the Furious. So here's what you need to know. we have a witness from the Witness Protection Program on board our tour. And the International Crime Syndicate, led by Owen Shaw, is honing in on this tour to take that witness out. But we're going to keep you safe by pulling into Sullivan's Truck Repair here, where we're set to rendezvous with Roman Pierce and Dom Toretto. Now, things are going to get fast and they are going to get furious, so please remember, remain seated and keep your arms
They're going to get fast and they're going to get furious. Alright.
Alright, now, it says Roman Pierce is going to meet us here. Hey, Roman, you out there?
My name is Roman Pierce. He's the winch. Buddy Hobbs access to stash you. Shown for a while. Brought you in our secret spot.
Alright, look guys, we're gonna keep Shaw from fighting. To keep you safe, we need your help. We don't want the syndicate tracking us here. So put away your cameras and turn off your cell phones. One flash or one ringtone can give us away.
I need y'all to take this real serious.
Okay, pull into the next bay and we'll meet you in there.
Alright, guys. And just remember, we're trying to hide Roman Shaw. Blend in. Oh, it might be a little harder to blend in than I thought.
FBI, don't move.
Bill?
That's right, party's over.
You know how long I took to iron this shirt, man? I'm not...
You're under arrest right now.
Ladies, just back up a little bit. We got it. Slightly. First of all, I don't work for you.
Oh, really? Well, tell me, Roman, who do you work for?
We don't work for nobody. Cop has suggested clear out of here, otherwise we can't guarantee your safety.
Guarantee my safety? I'm the one holding the gun.
Yeah, but mine's a whole lot bigger than yours. Escort this novice out.
Let's go, Cookie Puss.
That ugly suit on, man. It's cheap.
Somebody out there really pissed off Shaw. It's gonna get ugly fast.
Yeah, don't worry. Lucky for you, our whole family protects you.
Are you kidding me, Roman? You didn't shut off your phone, bro?
I gotta call you back. I'm gonna
See what I'm talking about?
call you back.
Man.
It was on vibrate. Shaw traced us. House can't hold forever. Letty, Roman, we're up. Try to move that vehicle. It's about to get real interesting. My Mona Lisa's all warmed up right next door. Roman, grab your truck. I need you and Letty ready to roll.
Put on some disguises. Go ahead and put on your 3D glasses. Now we're just gonna hide out here and it looks like the Jurassic parking garage. Yeah, this is a good idea. Alright, just lay low, everyone.
Yeah, we'll just hang in here. No big deal.
Which one of you is the witness? Speak now or you all get fried!
This is our turn.
After them!
Okay, guys, it's showtime!
Congratulations, everyone. You successfully evaded Owen Shaw. Now, it looks like you've even caught the attention of Agent Hobbs.
That was crazy. On the Glamor Tram. Wow. That was insane. Did you get wet?
A little bit.
I got wet a little bit. Oh yeah. Wow,
That is right, folks. You are welcome to join our crew anytime, especially our crew here at Universal Studios Hollywood. We are approaching the end of our tour and we'll be returning back to the theme park shortly. I hope you've all enjoyed your behind-the-scenes look at one of the largest, busiest, and oldest movie studios in all of Hollywood. Thank you all for joining me on this tour this afternoon. It was an absolute pleasure having you on board. Also, thank you to our annual pass holders. If you are not an annual pass holder and you'd like to find out how to upgrade today's ticket to an annual pass, you can visit any one of our Universal box offices to find out how to upgrade so you can come back and see us again and again. Also, if you haven't already, make sure you check out the Universal Studios Hollywood app for great information like wait times for attractions, show times for all of our shows, and information like park closing time. As a reminder, our park will be closing at 7 p.m. this evening. If you are interested in purchasing any of the films or TV shows you saw here on our tour, you can check us out at www.uphe.com or visit any one of our retailers.
All right, guys.
Once again, on behalf of myself, Cassie, your tour
That was
guide,
crazy, huh?
our driver, Richard, and all of us here at Universal
Right.
Studios Hollywood, I hope you've enjoyed this exclusive behind-the-scenes experience. Now we have returned back to the theme parks. That means our tour has come to an end.
That was awesome.
As we say in Hollywood, that's a wrap, folks.
That was so insane. All right.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. Come on. No. That's insane. All right. Got it. Look at this, guys. It's Alfred Hitchcock Universal's The Birds. That's crazy. It's a biggie. It's just chilling up there. Crazy. Okay, we already saw Ghostbusters, Frozen Empire. Now we're gonna see Twisters. Yes, part 2. That's crazy. All right, y'all. Why am I? There we go. That is amazing. Just think, Florida had their Twister ride. It's our turn to have ours. I wish that would be a thing. No way, just a guy and a girl. Dude, hey, what you guys doing here? What's up? Hey, Chad, how's it going, guys? Just a guy and a girl, Javier and Celeste. Yo.
I know, it's funny when you get to like run into like other people when you're here.
DDR USA Vlogs, what's up, y'all? That's crazy. My gimbal's going crazy right now. It's insane. How you guys doing?
How are you?
You ready for the 60th anniversary?
Yes,
Are you guys coming to a preview thing?
Yeah, tonight. You?
Tonight? We're coming on Monday.
Monday.
Oh, Monday?
Yeah.
We'll be.
So is tonight the first night? Yes.
Yeah, the 60th anniversary for sure.
Nice.
Yes.
Started today.
Oh, you guys. We watch these guys every single day. Like, you guys are truly amazing.
And I like the
Chat. Chat, what's up? How y'all doing? Yeah. All right. Well. All right, guys.
So they're doing their preview on Monday.
Right, for sure.
But
So we'll do ours tonight. They get to do theirs
on Monday.
Yeah, that's crazy. Who knew? All right, y'all. We got to meet Just a Guy and a Girl. Those two are amazing, y'all. Go subscribe to their channel if you haven't already. I'll put a link down below. That was so cool. We got to meet them out of the blue. Didn't know. Just got to run into them. That was crazy. Who knew? You know?
So I'm gonna put my
in the mummy locker.
Alright.
I'm
So gonna go in the locker?
Yeah, I'm gonna go locker.
Alright, locker it is. No! That was so awesome, guys. So everybody in the chat, that's...
I'm gonna get an
Alright. Get a refill?
I don't need a refill right now.
Alright. So everybody who watched us in the chat, what's up, y'all? How's it going? I don't know if we're gonna do the mummy ride. Maybe? I don't know. We'll see. Depending on the line, is like 25 minutes long. Alright, so... Oh. Gimmel's tripping up again.
Fun, excitement, and an experience like no other.
Now coming up on our right, we're going to start traveling down what we call the Universal Timeline, and that's because you're going to be able to see just a few of some of the thousands of films produced here at Universal Studios over the years. We opened up our doors on March 15th, 1915, thanks to a man named Carl Laemmle, who had a dream of creating a city dedicated to fostering a community of artists. And that's exactly what we are today. We come equipped with our own zip code, sheriff's substation, laundromat, and fire department. And you'll see that fire department later on down the hill. On March 15th, Carl Laemmle invited the public into the studio to watch silent movies being made. And guests could walk from set to set and marvel at the new technology involved in filmmaking. But with the invention of sound and the need for quiet on the set, the original walking tour ended. Then, in 1960s, under the leadership of company chairman Lou Wasserman and executives Al Gorsky and Jay Stein, the idea of reviving a tour of the studio returned when the Gray Line bus tours, which originated in Hollywood, made a stop at our gates. And then, on July 15th, 1964, the first of our red and white candy-striped Glamor Trams took 67 passengers on a 2-hour tour of the Universal lot, and the world-famous studio tour was born. We started with 2 drivers, 2 guides, and 1 ticket seller working out of a trailer on Lancashire Boulevard. From there, the studio tour expanded with fantastic one-of-a-kind Hollywood elements like the rock slide and the burning house, which were in this area of the backlot, in the lot, Backlot will get there later, of the 1970s and 80s. Over to our right is that fire station I was telling you all about. That was where the burning house was originally standing.
Oh.
Very fitting that we replaced it with our fire station. Now right now, we're traveling into our front lot. Our studio is made up of 2 parts, front lot and the back lot. The front lot is home to the majority of our 36 sound stages, as well as all of our sound and editing facilities. This place is really unique because it's where we can do the entire filmmaking process from start to finish, pre-production to post-production. Coming up behind me, you're going to see Soundstage 12. That's our oldest and largest soundstage, measures out to about 30,000 square feet, home to some of your favorite large sets in history, like Dracula's Castle, Frankenstein's Lab, Scarface's Mansion, and the town of Whoville. Today, you're on board one of our 60th anniversary Glamor Trams. It's one of our super trams, but dressed up in a throwback style. This red and white candy striping was originally created by Harper Goff, a well-known Hollywood art director and set designer who worked on movies like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory for Paramount, and was known for his fantastical designs. Then in 1983, we upgraded to super trams, allowing us to carry more guests and experience more thrills. In 2000, we added onboard video, turning the tram into a movie theater on wheels, and in the past 5 years, we have gone electric. And on your screen, that was all of the scenes, many of the scenes filmed in Soundstage 12. Now right now we're headed into our front lot. Over to your right is our Super Nintendo world, home to Mario and Luigi, the stars of our biggest film of 2023, the Super Mario Bros. Film. It's also where the studio tour guests once had a chance to explore facets of Hollywood not accessible to the public prior to 1964. In the 1960s and 70s, they could go over here to visit the dressing room of Lucille Ball. They could also visit the office of Edith Head, award-winning costume designer as well. It was also home to our special effects stage. Now over to our left, you'll see some of our sound stages. Soundstage 7, that's where we filmed the iconic shower scene in Psycho. You know, Alfred Hitchcock was not just instrumental in the horror genre, but filmmaking as a whole. I mean, if you think of that shower scene, he taught us that our imagination is far scarier than anything you could see on the screen, because Anthony Perkins, who played Norman, wasn't even in California when they filmed that. He was actually in New York working on a play. Some of these sound stages have been used for recent pictures like Universal's 11th Best Picture Oscar winner Oppenheimer, the 3rd season of the Peacock series Bel Air. And to tell us more, here's our next 60th anniversary guest, the stars of Bel Air, Jabari Banks and Ollie Charlton.
Leaving the theme park behind and entering the front lot where real Hollywood magic is made. How? Well, inside the sound stages that surrounds us, we can create any kind of environment the script demands.
For the past 60 years, studio tour visitors have driven right by these buildings, and inside these walls, the sets from your favorite TV shows and movies have transported audiences anywhere the imagination can take you, even to a palatial mansion in Bel Air.
When we film Bel Air, we love coming out of the sound stages and seeing the trams filled with excited guests as they drive by.
So, keep an eye out.
You never know who
Or what?
you'll see on the studio tour.
Now, our television history goes back almost as far as our
There's a hard house
with our
right
broadcast
there.
at the 1939 New York World's Fair, and we've been making shows ever since. Classics that have made these sound stages their homes include The Jeffersons and One Day at a Time. Newer shows are Killing It, and starring Greg Robinson, and based on the true story starring Kaylee Cuoco. But before these productions make it onto your screens, they first have to go through something called the pre-production process, and that's everything that happens before the camera starts rolling. So you got your budgeting, location scouting, screenwriting, casting, all of that and more that happens here on our front lot. After pre-production, we head into filming, followed by post-production, distribution, and release. Now, post-production can take a really long time. An example of that is our newest show, or one of the newest shows. We have Ted. It's a sequel to the Ted films. And speaking of Ted, look to your left, there's Ted himself. Everyone say, hey, Ted.
Hey, Ted. Hey, Ted.
You know, he's a little shy today. It's him, it's not you. But we released that on January 11th of this year, his brand new show. We started filming in August of 2022. So that just shows you how long the post-production process can take. And post-production is everything from adding computer-generated imagery, CGI elements, to sound design and color correcting. Over to the left, you're going to see some of our famous production bungalows. This is where the pre-production process happens. Over the years, we've been home to many famous production companies.
I think the speakers actually.
We used to have Monkey Paw Productions over here from Jordan Peele, brought you No Bus and Get Out. Currently, we have Mark Blatt's production company who brought you La La Land, and they're about to bring you Wicked. We used to have Dwayne Johnson's production company, $7 Productions, whose name derives from the fact when he first came to Hollywood, he had a total of $7 to his name. And nowadays, we have the De Laurentiis company, who brought the Hannibal franchise to your small screens, which is very fitting. And speaking of more directors, to our left, 5195, former office of Alfred Hitchcock. You can still see a silhouette on the outside of the building. Now coming up here, soundstage 25 and 26.
They get to do it earlier.
Looks a little different than the sound stages I showed you earlier. It's because it's
They
on
get
the
to go
production
through
offices
earlier.
and fitting rooms, but just behind it is where we film Lopez versus Lopez, starring George Lopez and his real-life daughter Maya Lopez, and our newest show, St. Dennis Medical. Now, roughly 80 to 90% of filmmaking is done within our sound stages because it's such a flexible and controlled environment. But what happens when a script calls for a set too large to fit inside of those sound stages? We head to our metropolitan set, where the world is literally just around the corner.
We're about to cross the imaginary boundary onto the back lot, where we have exterior sets for many outdoor scenes. Over the last 60 years, studio tour guests have seen these locations turned into big cities, quiet suburbs, even that guy's hometown. Yeah, that guy. For countless movies and TV shows. This is Universal's Metro Sets.
Although it takes up only 4 acres of land, we can turn it into almost any city in the world. And the benefits about filming here versus on location in a real city saves us time, money, and we get full creative control. Coming up on our right, you're going to see our brownstone street. You might remember it from Bruce Almighty, but it's also the road that Marty McFly sped down to reach 88 miles per hour to get back to the future. We are on our way to Courthouse Square, and to tell you more about Courthouse Square, here's star Leah Thompson and one of the producers, writers, and creators of Back to the Future, Bob Gale.
Welcome to the Courthouse Square. These sets were used to create Hill Valley in the Back to the Future films.
And they represented multiple time periods, 1985, 1955, and the far, far distant future, 2015. To this day, this is one of the most popular sets on the Universal Studio Tour.
We had a lot of fun making those films here on the lot. I wonder what it'd be like to go back to those days. If only we had a time machine.
Hey everybody, do you think we can get this tram up to 88 miles per hour?
I think so. Let's try it.
Let's go.
Now this is Courthouse Square, everybody, and there is Doc Brown. Everyone say, hey, Doc. And that clock tower is where Dark Harness, the bolt of lightning, that will fly back to the future.
This is really happening.
Hey, Doc. Well, let's not interrupt the space-time continuum. Let's head on with our tour. See you later, Doc. Now, the building courthouse might look a little different from how you remember it, and that's because it's currently covered by a facade. A facade is a structure that can only be filmed from the front and sides. It's everything that the camera sees. If you want to go inside a set and film the exterior of it, that's called a practical set, and we have our fair share of both here on the lot. Now, Back to the Future was originally going to be filmed in Petaluma, California. We realized it would cost us too much money to do what the script called for. Go from 1985, 1955, and back again. But instead, we can come here and we put up a facade, basically a fake wall, and it transforms the entire surrounding.
From 1986 until 2008. He stood 30 feet tall and weighed in at 13,000 pounds. Over the years, millions of guests got to meet King Kong face to face as he shook the tram. So close you could feel his hot banana breath.
What?
Is that it? I believe that's my last line, and then the tram moves on to the next thing.
We really do, Jack Black, we do, but not too far, because we are heading out of the concrete jungle, but into the jungles of Skull Island. Here's Peter Jackson to tell you more.
Oh, that was priceless.
It's the original King Kong that made me want to direct movies. I saw that movie on TV when I was about 8 or 9 years old, and I wanted to become a filmmaker. I like films that take you away from your real life and sweep you up in adventure. Kong literally does that. I mean, you're on board a ship, you're sailing to a lost island, you're encountering monsters, creatures from prehistoric times.
Really?
Yeah, I gotta see it later.
So I was thrilled when Universal invited me back to Skull Island, and it's great to have you along for the ride. Now, we have created this 3D immersive experience, so you're going to have your glasses ready. Don't put them on yet, but just have them in your hand because we're about to return to Skull Island.
Quick safety reminder, please remain seated at all times. Supervise all children. Hold on tightly to all those belonging. Keep your hands and feet inside the vehicle at all times. Remember to use that red cord in case of an emergency. The amount of phones that have been lost here at Skull Island, unparalleled, so hold on tight because you will either never see them again, I wish I was kidding, or you won't be able to retrieve them until the very end of the day.
The Universal Tram is winding its way through a very rough, narrow trail in Skull Island, allowing the visitors a little sneak peek at some of the wildlife of Skull Island. In a sense, this is like a mini sequel. A mini continuation. We're just taking the Kong and Skull Island and the dinosaurs that we established in. Pass it on, everybody. We're back in Skull Island.
was insane.
Let's give it up for King Kong 360.
That was crazy. We're riding the tram at night. Yeah, on the Glamor trail.
Wasn't that the coolest thing y'all have seen today?
Let's go again.
Epic battle was brought to you on some of the world's largest 3D screens, measuring at 40 feet tall and 180 feet wide. It was brought to you by the minds of Peter Jackson and the team over at Weta Effects. Weta Effects has won a total of 7 Academy Awards and worked on films such as Avatar: The Way of Water, The Lord of the Rings trilogy, Planet of the Apes, and of course, King Kong. But now, coming up, y'all, get your cameras ready. They're roughly 50 feet tall, but on camera they look a lot larger, and that's because of forced perspective. The higher the buildings go up, the physically smaller we make these windows get. Same thing with the Bates household if you're staying at the motel towers above you. But, again, look out to your right for the runaway train.
Man, that's right, it's still there. I remember those days.
Right here on our right are the runaway train and the collapsing bridge. The collapsing bridge was a mechanical effect that the trams used to cross, and the hydraulic support beams would split and the bridge would seem to collapse. The runaway train was originally located in our western set. It used to hurtle towards the tram and come to a screeching halt. Both are retired effects made for the studio tour 50 years ago. And a picture car is any vehicle on the screen. Doesn't have to be a car, doesn't have to turn on, doesn't have to move. And coming up on our left are just a few of some of the hundreds of picture cars we have here on the lot. First one is the 1932 Ford Deuce Coupe from American Graffiti. Now we also have our Ferrari from Magnum PI, but that does not have a Ferrari engine in it. It actually has a Volkswagen engine. That saved us a lot of money. We have cars from Back to the Future, bringing us to the futuristic year of 2015. Still waiting on my flying car. My favorite flying car for you Harry Potter fans is the small blue one coming up, the Ford Anglia. Yes. For that film, they made 17.5 models of that car. The reason they made half a model was because they couldn't fit the film equipment inside the car, so they cut it in half to get the perfect close-up shot of Harry and Ron. Yeah, we have the gyrosphere. You'll notice the sphere is gone. We add that in post-production. Otherwise, you'd see the glare of the camera on it while we film. And we have what looks like a tank, but it's not. That's called the Bradley Fighting Vehicle. It's made out of pressed plywood and then later painted in order to make it look like it's rusting metal. That saved us a lot of time, money, and made it a lot easier to drag around set because of how light it was. Uh-oh. And I guess now I should be preparing you to enter a little island off the coast of Costa Rica.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
Dinosaurs are in our DNA here at Universal, and they've been a part of the tour for 3 decades. I'm excited to tell you that the new era of the franchise begins in 2025 with Jurassic World 4. Just in time for our 60th anniversary, and as we enter the Jurassic Forest, here's Chris Pratt to tell you about the location.
For 3 years, this part of the studio tour was the greens department, where we keep real plants and trees that can be set dressings for TV shows and movies. Nowadays, it's where you can see many of the set pieces used in the Jurassic films, including some plants and trees, except these aren't. Just like the dinosaurs around here. At least, I don't think the dinosaurs are real. Actually, there might be a few real ones around here, so just be on the lookout. You know me.
Oh my goodness, y'all, I had no idea that that was gonna happen. Oh.
Whoa!
It's okay, they're only venomous on Thursdays though, so we are safe.
Wow!
Is today Thursday? It better be a good 60th anniversary, man. Now, we just passed by our mobile lot from Jurassic Park. You might remember it when it was dangling off the side of the cliff during the film, but I'll let you in on a secret, that was not a cliff at all. See on your screen right now, we didn't have to leave our front lot to film that. In fact, we didn't even leave our parking lot. We filmed it on our parking structure next to Soundstage 14, and we combined CGI with real and fake plants to bring it to life. Now, another really important effect with productions is weather. Jurassic Park, the hurricane prevented everyone from leaving the island and furthered the plot. Then we met the T-Rex, the thunder and the lightning emphasized the mood. But what do we do if we can't, the weather we need isn't in the forecast for the upcoming week? In that case, we make our own. Welcome to Old Mexico. We are now visiting another classic attraction on the Backlot. To tell you more is today's show host, co-host, and weather anchor Al Roker.
Time for my favorite part of the tour, weather. When it comes to film and TV, it is truly a special effect. In fact, to demonstrate how weather effects are created, we debuted our first major attraction here on the studio tour way back in 1968.
Rain comes straight up out of our sprinkler heads, arcs down in order to mimic the real flow of rain and the pull of gravity. There was a rumor that for singing in the rain, they put milk powder in the droplets to make it look more defined. That is not true. We use a lighting technique where we light the actor from the front, light the rain from the back. Technical term called backlighting. But this is getting a technique 10, right? We should probably stop it. I think so. Luke, this isn't working. Luke says we're on our own. Oh my gosh. Oh no. Uh-oh. Oh no. Oh no. Flash flood! Well, that has never happened before, right? That was crazy. You might remember it from Big Fat Liar. And that's over 6,000 gallons of water that goes down the hill and gets recycled back up again for the attraction over and over. And it's the oldest attraction we have on the studio tour. The reason we added it was because, you know, we're an active working film. Now we're traveling down what we call 6 points. It's our western set. It gets its name because off of this one main road, there are 6 distinctly different side streets. Each one can act as its own town, equipped with its own bars, sheriff's office, and more. Now these sets were essential during our early days of filmmaking because we were in the silent era of film. So we could theoretically film 6 productions at one time here, and that is exactly what we did. During our first year being open, we released over 200 westerns thanks to 6 points. And our founder, Carl Lemley, even invited the public to come watch filmmaking take place, like I told you all earlier. But it wasn't just great for the public, but it was great for the actors as well, because the public would cheer for the good guy, boo the bad guy, and it amplified their performances. Nowadays, we can't have audience participation in the same way. Talkies made their way into cinema, mics pick up the slightest noise. If we have a tram going through a hot set, the words "Quiet Zone" flash up on our screens. It was inspired by the classic film The 10 Commandments, a Paramount picture, and the star of the movie, Charlton Heston, made an appearance to part the waters for our guests.
This tram is overloaded. Tell them they can walk on water. It's part of the tour.
Yo-ho!
And there have also been exploding water lines, torpedoes, and prop submarines as part of the action in the lake, including Creature from the Black Lagoon. 2024 marks the 70th anniversary of the 3D classic Creature from the Black Lagoon film, which filmed here in our Hollywood ocean. It's part of our legacy of horror and monster movies that stretches from Dracula in 1931 to the upcoming Dark Universe, a Universal Epic Universe opening next year in Orlando. Now, a lot of our monster movies were filmed in Little Europe. Over the years, it's been transformed into Italy, Paris, Wales, Transylvania. If you're a fan of The Princess Diaries, it was the fictional country of Genovia in Princess Diaries 2. The royal, yeah, you're a fan? Me too, me too. Royal engagement, but most recently, and now most famously, it has been known as the afterlife. Welcome to the good place.
Still haven't seen it yet.
You, Eleanor Shellstrom, are dead.
Cool.
This location, the afterlife, come on. I have never ever seen this. You're in the good place.
I'm not supposed to be here. I can't risk going to the bad place.
Maybe it's not all that bad.
Hi there. How can I help you?
What is the bad place like?
Well, it doesn't sound awesome.
Now, a lot of our monster movies did film here. Some of our classic monster films include Dracula, Frankenstein, The Bride of Frankenstein, Hunchback of Notre Dame, which is celebrating, this past year, celebrating its 100th anniversary. Crazy to think about, our filmmaking really goes back over 100 years. To our right, you'll see our Court of Miracles, where many a mob scene has taken place over the years. Now, Dracula starred a man named Bela Lugosi, who was a very prominent actor of that time period, mainly associated with monster films or playing the mad scientist. So it makes sense that when we were casting the role of Frankenstein's monster, we immediately approached Bela Lugosi. But he had 2 problems with accepting the role. The first was that there were no lines. The second, he was worried the prosthetic makeup involved would inhibit his acting abilities. But he agreed to a screen test on the condition he'd be allowed to do his own makeup, and the studio agreed. Problem was, He did the screen test, and the audience immediately laughed at him and his makeup. In response, he said, listen, I didn't want the role in the first place. In fact, this part is so easy, even a background actor could do it. So you know what they did? They hired a background actor on your screen, Boris Karloff, and he was so successful in the role of Frankenstein's monster, he went on to star in many other monster films, with Bela Lugosi often appearing as his second. He also went on to win a Grammy Award for voicing the narrator in the animated version of How the Grinch Stole Christmas. So that just goes to show y'all, there are no small parts, only small actors. So y'all go chase those dreams. Wow, y'all, check out the detail in here. First floor is decorated like a subway station. This is a hot set, meaning it's completely decorated, locked for picture, and ready for the director to call action.
Okay. Alright, here we go. Alright, let's do this. Whoa. Wow. You guys. It does. Oh my god. It's so glorious. Look, there's San Francisco. What?
And we're gonna go around the side of the building back through again.
Can we cry now? I mean, like, wait, we're not gonna do that. What?
Minor technical difficulty, y'all.
No, this is not fair. No. We get to see us still.
On our release schedule in 1974, Earthquake, which opened around Thanksgiving, was supposed to be followed by an even more terrifying film at Christmas, and production delays kept that from happening, but eventually audiences got to visit Amity Island for summer vacation.
It's still in technical rehearsals, so I mean...
Like John Wayne, for example, he was well over 6 feet tall. Other actors like Alan Ladd stood at 5'7". So in order to even out their heights on camera, they would take the taller actors and put them in front of the taller doors, shorter actors in front of the shorter doors. Now, a lot of times, the actresses, their female counterparts, would be taller than them as well. So if there was a scene where they had to walk side by side, they would actually dig a trench for the actresses to stand in. We also had 2 contract Western stars, but they were fired, and that was Clint Eastwood and Burt Reynolds. And they fired Burt Reynolds because they said he couldn't act, and they fired Clint Eastwood because they said his Adam's apple wasn't photogenic enough. I know, right? We don't remember the man who fired them, but we definitely do know those 2 household names. And wow, we're back at Soundstage 50 already. What?
What's happening right now? This is insane.
No. Wow.
While we get ready to head in, I want to show you an example of our Western 6 floor.
Oh yeah, I like that.
We're gonna go through again. This is crazy.
And welcome back to Soundstage 50.
This is so crazy.
You can see it really is a hot set. It's almost
This
as
is
if
really
everyone
happening.
left in the middle of production.
Don't die on me, phone. Come on. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Now, I know a lot of people miss Earthquake, but it's really cool to be inside of
Whoa! Huh?
Not quite, everybody.
back earthquake! Yay! Hey, that was so crazy!
The attraction originally opened
Welcome
35
back,
years ago
earthquake!
in 1989 and just reopened this spring for our 60th anniversary with a
No, they changed it big time. There's the train, it's blue. It's not red no more.
The earthquake will celebrate its 50th anniversary this year. It was released on November 15th, 1960. Ava Gardner filmed in our sound stages on the Metro sets and the Flash Flood.
Oh, that was amazing.
Now we are at our halfway mark officially. See, if there was something wrong, the iconic Jaws theme would start playing, y'all. That's when you know we shouldn't be here. But so far, so good. Beautiful day here at Amity.
Yo, that was amazing, guys.
Uh-oh. We're gonna need a bigger tram. You know, it's a good thing my best friend George isn't working today. He's the diver at Universal. If he was here right now, this would not be good. Oh no, there's George. George, get out of the water.
George.
Oh, George, get out of the water. It's a weird time for a bubble bath, buddy. I'll text you. Yeah, I'll text you. You know, divers, they dive. I'm sure he's fine.
Text?
Right, you know what? I'm prepared for this. You see that white barrel out there? I put shark bait in there deliberately for this purpose. Shark's gonna take the bait. We're gonna be completely safe. Okay, took the bait and pulled on. Let's hide behind these flammable barrels. That would be safe. To be fair, that was Luke's idea. I was like, no barrels, and he was like, barrels, barrels.
Fire all over. So hard. What's up, man? Hey!
But I did it safe, technically. I mean, did you die? No. Wow. No, so here we are. Now, I did notice that y'all were very terrified of the mechanical shark, but not of the very real flash.
Wow.
Now, Jaws was actually just as much a terror off screen as he was on screen. See, Steven Spielberg wasn't the original director attached to the film. It had been someone else. And that director was let go because he kept referring to Jaws as a whale.
Wow, they put
and
some more sand out
listen,
here.
if you want to stay on the project, you gotta start calling him a shark. And he was like, I just think the whale needs to be a lot scarier. So they took him off the project, they called him Steven Spielberg, whose only credit at the time was the Sugarland Express, relatively new upcoming director, but he had previously expressed interest, and so they brought him on. It's a good thing they did because Jaws proved to be a huge success.
Knight Rider was also
Problem
filmed
was,
here too,
the original director had already built the first mechanical shark,
Kit was
and he
driving
built
right
it
over
to
here
work in
to
fresh
the
water.
bridge,
Steven
and going this
Spielberg
way.
wanted the film to be as true to life as possible, and so he
Old
decided
school.
that they would film out on the open ocean. The moment they put that shark in the ocean, it sank to the very bottom. They went through several other mechanical sharks as well. Each one failed just as much as the last, so much so they nicknamed the project Flaws. Scheduling was pushed over 100 days past schedule, and their budget tripled. Not such a bad thing it was pushed back though, because then it became known as the first ever summer blockbuster. Not just at our studio, but ever. Now if you don't recognize this Amity Island, again, it was a Cabot Cove and Murder, She Wrote. To our left, the yellow house with the green roof, that was Boo Radley's and To Kill a Mockingbird. To our right, our chicken ranch, that's actually used as Jessica Fletcher's house in a lot of episodes of
and a song.
Murder, She Wrote, but it's best known for the best little whorehouse in Texas, starring Dolly Parton. And our chicken ranch, building to our right, was actually built in Soundstage 12. Same with 1313 Mockingbird Lane, and then we later moved them both out here to our backlot. Chicken ranch opens up like a dollhouse. Over to our left, we're passing by Colonial Street. If you're a fan of the Desperate Housewives, it was Wisteria Lane for all 8 seasons. Most recently, it's home to our show 10.
Wait there.
Now, you may remember that the Lion Estates was where Marty McFly lived in the Back to the Future trilogy, and these signs coming up on our left are replicas of the original props made for the 30th anniversary of the first film.
Check that out.
Steven Spielberg was one of the executive producers on the film, so it's fitting that we put them there as we travel up Steven Spielberg Drive. But this section of Steven Spielberg Drive is known as Wilderness Road, because if you look around, the highlight since the original 1964 studio tour, and that is the home of Norman Bates from Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. And if you look in the top left-hand window, once we get to the front of the house, you can even see Norma Bates in her rocket ship.
about Universal Studios Tour.
And just beyond it, if you keep an eye out on your right, you're going to see our official scale replica of LA's most iconic landmark, the Hollywood sign. While we're celebrating our 60th, the Hollywood sign has been commemorating its centennial year. Our version of the sign is a scale model, and the letters on your right are 10 feet tall, while the original letters stand at 45 feet tall. Just as we turn this corner.
No way.
For the first few decades of the studio tour, one of our hallmarks was a visit to the Props Plaza, where guests disembarked for once-in-a-lifetime photos and to interact with characters, vehicles, and props from their favorite productions. Well, guess what? Just for our 60th anniversary, we brought that opportunity back. Now remember, folks, this is a limited stop. When you are ready to continue your tour, simply follow the signs. You'll be boarding a different...
Yes, I can sort of film. Guys, we're at the Bates Motel. Yo. Check it out. Old school water fountains. I'm gonna keep filming until my phone goes dead, y'all. Yo. And old school mailbox, huh? Yeah.